Hey to Han, Hanopai. Up until now, we have explored and inquired collectively and personally what is the predicament of a human being. Physical, emotional, sensual, mental, intellectual, and personal. And we've seen a very diverse landscape, you could say. We've seen the ins and outs and the multi-layered fabric or tapestry, thank you, that we call human nature. We've seen the areas that are expressed in freedom and in joy and in love, and that which is beneficial for us or supportive of us, and those aspects which are more going towards the destructive side, not helpful. So, hey is to recognize that this human predicament inherently has the potential for struggle. Whether you're feeling it directly in yourself or not, but you just have to look around a little and see that not everyone is feeling comfortable being a human being. Putting it in mild terms. Hetu, what is the cause of this? Being uncomfortable, being dissatisfied, feeling a sense of smallness, feeling a sense of competition that I have to promote my greatness. What is this? Remember? Rag and Dvesh. These two words I had brought in on the first day. Rag, what is that that's pulling me towards that which I'm attracted to? And what is that which I am pulling back from, wanting not to have? We see it in the people we gravitate towards, people we are repelled from, work that we gravitate towards, and work that we are repelled from, and qualities in ourselves that we struggle hard to remove or to acquire. That is Rag and Dvesh. I want to be more like this, and I want to be less like that. Can you recognize this commentary? We all have it. And today, these are personal questions that I put up purposefully. Not that we should feel bad about ourselves, but that we see the pattern, which is to say we see the tendency of our conditioning on us. What was the effect of our training? What did it result in? Can you imagine now yourself little? What were the main what was most spoken to you when you were little? One aspect of it. You are small and you yet don't know, right? You have to learn to be big. You have to learn to know. Right? We all went through that. As much as a parent wishes to support the love through love and support the growth of their child, their job is to say, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. They must do it. It's what the mother is, the role of the mother is to do that. How is it interpreted in each child is slightly different depending on how it is spoken, but at its core, a child grows up with the idea, I'm small and I don't know, and I have to do a lot of stuff, impress a lot of people, prove myself to then be big and knowing. I'm small and needy. I need someone to drive me to school. I need someone to make my lunch. I need someone to make my bed. I need someone to cook my food. I need someone to buy my clothes. So what is our first knowledge? I am small. I am needy. I'm not knowing. And I have to now do a whole lot of stuff to be not that which I am, to be other than what I am. With all well-meaning mothers who are here, they passed on this training to their children because this is how one learns to survive physically, mentally, socially. And I said with absolutely no blame, it is the system. That system, regardless of how well-intended the parent, the teachers, and the parents are not the only influence on the children. Teachers, peer group, you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not fast enough in running. You're not smart enough. You have to, then how is it interpreted? I have to do more to become something other than what I am. I have to reach over there and reject this. So we've had so many influences that have thus conditioned us. That's why I say it was absolutely no blame. It is the system. Lucky are we. Really sincerely I say it. Not just lucky, like, I don't know another word, fortunate, just saying the same thing, but immensely. That's maybe how you emphasize it. How immensely lucky are we to now be able to examine this without blame, without guilt, and without shame. It must be the prerequisite now for us to go forward to talking about a liberated state is to first be very sure of the bound state that you can observe is not your doing. It is not your making. And it is not the making of your parents, of your teachers, of your friends, or your society. So forget any sense that you will improve your conditioning, I would suggest. Because that is an endless, endless pursuit. And it is playing into the very basis of what has bound us. You are not okay now because you observe all these qualities. I am small, I am needy, and I am not knowing. Observing all these things creates a kind of knot in the human being, a complex, the opposite of this, somewhere. And because we don't want to be seen like this, all knotted up inside, we put up a great mask. We paint that mask with qualifications and with pretty colors and with accomplishments, with travel. I've been here, I've been there, I've done this, I've done that. And we plaster like paper mache, layer after layer after layer of this presentable mask. Because how do you present yourself? Hello, how are you? Who are you? Oh, I'm small, needy, and not knowing. That's not going to work. So then someone says, who are you? Because that's what we first learned, isn't it? Who are you? So we say, I'm this that I present to you, which are all that which I have done, doing. Doing is achieving. Look at everything I've done. And people, we're very successful at this distraction technique. Look at everything I've done. Don't look at who I am. I keep that hidden. Look at everything that I've done that will promote all the good stuff I feel about myself and hide all the bad stuff about myself. So promoting, hiding. Rag, dvesh. Rag, dvesh. What am I disgusted with, and what am I attracted to? So here we are, extremely, extremely fortunate that we can speak honestly and openly without this shame, without this pretense that I have to be more than what I am, that I have to invest my value in my doing. That now we can learn together, not by me telling you, but I had to look at this in myself, often painful. So I'm only telling you how I started to look in such a way that liberated me from the pain of looking at the stuff we don't want to present. It's endless. And trying to improve that, I found, was absolutely futile. So someone asked me this morning, what do I do with the knots of identification that I recognize or I know in being human? The complexes, the smallness, the difficulties, the defenses. Because sometimes we let people look behind the mask, especially relations. They see behind the mask. Then what do you have to do? You have to put up another wall of defense. And then if someone says, hey, I see something vulnerable in you. I see that which you're trying to hide. We react defensively in many ways. You can fight. You can hide more, shove it deeper. More mask, more mask, more mask, shove it deeper, deeper. More mask, more shame, more regret, more blame. Anything to not suffer in the inevitable rag and dvesh of the human condition. So now, if it's inevitable, why are we saying it is who we are? So when I said, what qualities do you have? It was a trick question, sorry. Because you obviously are going to start describing those qualities that belong to your personal self. And then I wrote, what do you want more of? What do you want to throw away? To pinpoint so that you would see it in yourself. I didn't want to trick you in a nasty way, but so you could see that we are all trained in this. And it is through no fault. And there is no shame, no guilt, no regret. We start right now. There is the possibility of freedom, of liberation from pain. That to me means the same thing. Liberation from pain. Liberation from the struggle, the rag, the dvesh, the push, the pull, the promoting, the defending, the walling off and hiding. There is liberation that you don't have to do that. And it takes no process. Unlike what we are taught. When you see something wrong, something inadequate, something insufficient, there's a process to improve it and go there. Meditation is no process. It is a moment to moment to moment recognition. I am free. In being. So it is called pure being. And this word pure now comes relevant. Because unless it is relevant, what I mean by pure, pure will be now slotted into, this is pure and this is impure. Because this is our training. So if I speak about the word pure without you being able to recognize that pure means that it is free from opposites. Pure is not made impure because of this. Pure is, forget your idea of, any idea you have of pure. In Sanskrit, the word is should. S-H-U-D-H. Should. And it has nothing to do with S-H-O-U-L-D. In fact, it's almost a cosmic joke that they should sound the same. It's got nothing with what you should be. Pure is who you are. It is not what you will be when you practice hard and remove all the knots. Then you will be pure. So future does not apply to pure. Regret and looking in the past has nothing to do with pure. Process has nothing to do with pure. Change has nothing to do with pure. Pure has no opposite. Pure has no future, no past. So if I say to you now, you are pure, watch now. The conditioned mind, the training of the mind that says, but I cannot accept I am pure because I have all these qualities that I need to have more of and all these qualities that I need to get rid of. I need these knots that I need to untie and I need to tie up all these loose ends. I need to know more or I need to know less and then I will be. See the whole structure, the linear training that we went through. Just in order that we can function physically, now has come the time that we are developed enough. Don't look back and don't look forward. Present, ever present. Now you are pure. And that's actually the only teaching. Now work with that. Deepen that acceptance. All that needs to happen now is not more pure. More and less are opposites, so they don't relate to pure. Unchanging, ever present, indestructible, pure. It cannot be bound by any condition. It cannot be made small by any knot. Now we have a choice. Vairagya. The word rag is in there. See? Vairag. The opposite of rag that is not dvesh. Rag and dvesh, let's say, are these two hands. This is vairag. Not going into rag, not going into dvesh. It is still pure, ever present. Yes, neutrality. Why I didn't use the word neutrality is because you have an association with that word that it will be translated on the emotional level that if I get upset, I am not being neutral. If I have an opinion, I'm not being neutral. That will have an opposite. Pure. Stay with the word pure.
Neutral state of mind?
No, it's not a neutral state of mind. Okay, let me explain.
No, because I'm not sure.
Okay, it will come clear. Good, it's good you ask. It's a Sanskrit word, so it needs some exploration. Don't be quick to just grasp some terminology. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. It's a new word for many of you. I want it to have no association. Pure. Being is the closest word that I find that is an antidote to our training that is of doing, of accomplishing, of acquiring. Being. So pure being is ever the same. That's the neutral. It is not made more in rag and less in dvesh. It is vairag. unable to be made more or less. You cannot have more Vairagya, less Vairagya. Vairagya is Vairagya. And all of us have Vairagya, which means we have all not been completely fooled and deceived to call ourselves bound in the human condition. There is the hope, the seeking, even maybe the knowledge of liberation. Your liberation is in understanding Vairagya. Because if you think liberation is a feeling, a knowledge, or a circumstance, you will be disappointed. You'll continue to struggle. The physical level will always be bound in this and that, because it is governed by change. The cycle of nature is in constant change. Day, night, summer, winter, cold, hot. There is the natural cycle of change, the polarity of differences in the physical, sensual, emotional, mental, intellectual, ego levels. And that will always remain. Get over it. Quit you're trying to change that, because nature is infinitely more powerful than your attempt to change it. Trying to change yourself on those levels, which is trying to understand that you are ever pure, free from the knot that is the pain of being human. Give up trying to be a free, physical, emotional, intellectual, ego, human being. Let that be what you observe, what you know, the mask through which you play. This mask is not hiding you. It is inviting you to play. Kids love masks. They love fantasy. My niece is 4, my great niece actually. My great niece is 4, and when you go and visit her, she tells you as soon as you enter the house, in fact she's waiting at the gate to tell you, on that day, what her name is, how old she is, how many brothers and sisters she has, and everything about herself. And it's completely fabricated. So we take on what is called an identity. A certain identity has evolved in us or developed in us helplessly. We did the best we could. We helplessly took on a certain mask. And some people wear that mask lighter than others. Some people's mask is heavier than others. There's no comparison, because everyone has a mask. Doesn't matter what color you paint it. We have the chance now. Knowing who wears the mask is ever pure, ever present and free. The wearer of that mask that has no mask, has no form, has no quality other than pure, ever present and free, you can paint your own mask. You can incorporate anything in that mask, even the painful stuff.
So what are the vasanas?
Desire, the word vasana means desire. The desire comes when you are trying to seek to get satisfaction, love, acceptance, peace, and freedom only in the mask, and with total disregard for you, pure being. When you have moved away from the awareness of you, pure being, and you now identify I am the mask, you will have endless desire, rag, and dvesh, trying to remove your desires. I desire, I feel bad, I desire, because we know there's no end to desire. And desire is ultimately frustrating, because no matter how many desires you fulfill, you remain empty. So that constant rag, desire could be almost synonymous with rag. The desire is actually the momentum with which you try to acquire satisfaction in the mask. Seeing the result of your desire didn't quite do it. Maybe could feel okay for some time. But one thing we know is temporary. No doubt about that. And then what to do now? I have to now start improving my desires. Making them less, making them more, making them this kind of desire. Then they say, sublimate your desire. Make it a spiritual desire. Now you have a desire for God. Now you have a desire to be a meditation master. If it's based in desire, you will be disappointed. Because no matter how much you sit like this and keep your hands in the right position, you're not going to be at ease with your pure being. Not with your pure being. Language is so clumsy. You can't be with your pure being. You are pure. The identification, that's the closest is best to say. To identify, I am pure being. So, Han, the state of liberation exists. You don't make it. Pure exists. Pure, free, forever present exists. It is the very, it is described best as space, because it has no form, and yet is the very encompassing power through which anything is known. All that acting out in the mask and in the dance of rag and dvesh, finding myself knotted or free in this realm, is sustained in what? Intelligence. So in the Vedas, they say Sat, Chit, Anand are the only qualities that can try to describe that which is pure. And so existence, consciousness, and bliss, they write the word pure to distinguish it from the existence of body, physical, existence of mental, existence of ego. They have their existence also, and no fault there, but it is not pure. Doesn't mean it's sinful, it means it is not ever present and free. It is something made, and it will be destroyed. And if you invest your value in that which will be, that is created and will be destroyed, there will be struggle, because you don't want to be destroyed. So this brings us back, lastly, to the mantra, Amaram. Keep exploring this word. Pete recently went on a walk in Spain, and he wrote to me, can you give me something that I'm going to be alone on this walk. I'm doing a kind of pilgrimage. I would like something to meditate on, which means contemplate also as I walk. Amaram Ham. If you can contemplate Amaram Ham, the depth of that word, repeat it 10 million times. Amaram Ham. What does it mean that there is no death? That which is created, that which you struggle hard to build and sustain, will ultimately leave you. What is that that never leaves you? Is that which was never built by you. Amar, it cannot be cut from you, cannot be taken from you. So now, what is there to improve? Looking at it now, Think of what you wrote or contemplated on at the beginning of your qualities. Do they now seem lighter to you or not so covered? Now your inner being, your pure being, allow that to shine. Give that some attention. Bring your identification, this is me. And like a gardener, water this, tend this, give it some nice manure. And there's nothing like situations, and I know some of you are out of your comfort zones. I'm very well aware of that. Some of you are having difficulty sleeping. Some of you are having trouble with digestion. Some of you are feeling uncomfortable with so much socializing or with certain feelings in the group. Don't be afraid of it. It's the manure by which you are having an opportunity now to feed. This is ever not pleasing, this mask. It's never going to satisfy you. It's never going to be completely comfortable. But it can sit with you quite comfortably when you tend to yourself. Tend to yourself. Make this, I'm only pointing, this is not the body, I'm just going inward. How do you describe formless? Pure. If you give importance that your true value is that you are pure, you have no beginning, you have no end, you are ever present, you are free, you are pure. Being. Pure knowing that has nothing to do with the information that was accumulated in the intellect. Pure knowing, which is described as knower, because it has no acquiring. It is the ever-present knower. When you again and again, like the gardener, water this, nourish this, value this, think how extremely lucky you are that you received the information that you are this, and identify, build the identification with this, pure, that you are. I am pure. Then Amar, nothing can sever you from yourself. So challenges will come and they will appear to take you away from yourself, out of your comforts, out of your sense of your self, your ego self. But wow, that is great now. That is toiling, liberating the soil around the plant, freeing up, digging the soil, excavating the soil, tilling the soil, so it's not tight. What happens when you don't till the soil? It gets very tight. I'm very hidden. I have a secret. It's very tight. I have to speak in a very small voice because this human conditioning becomes very tight. How can the plant grow when the soil is so tight and dry? Till your soil. All these situations, relations, circumstances, your work, your children, they're tilling the soil for you to use this opportunity now. I am pure being. Amaram, Madhuram. Eternal. Unable to be cut, divided, made small, made less, and ultimately unable to die. Where no death can touch you, no division can touch you, no less, no more can touch you. But it is not touch you like a robot that you've become separate from. No, you fully now embody this mask. Yes, I have these qualities. I give a fig. I have these qualities. Yeah, they're a bit destructive, so I try not to feed them so much. I have these qualities that work for me. I nourish them a bit more. But the I am is not identified there. I am pure. I am free. Ever present. It is only the ever presence, your own being, that is pure and free. So now we could write on the board let's just, in the last remaining minutes, because we started a little later, let's throw out now words that describe pure. Now we get into how we can now develop a language for our own inner narration. We all have this inner voice, right? An inner narration that is commenting, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like this. I'm not like that. You see someone also who has qualities that are not like yours. Oh, I'm not like that. It can be either, thank God I'm not like that, or I'm not like that, I want. We're going to just take some time. We are not talking about these qualities that you don't have to reject, but that now we are just turning the attention that has been predominantly describing yourself with these qualities to now, how do we describe ourselves pure? So we will now develop a language not only to speak with each other, but to have the narration in your own relationship with yourself. Speak the language of your true self. Ever pure. So let's write, I offer pure. I am. What word can we put there? Never born. Beautiful. Right to the depth. Buff. Free. Love. Peace. Endless. What was? Silence. Unchanging. Infinite. Oh, every word. It's just so exciting when you realize who you are.
I saw that right. Eternal.
Eternal. Compassionate. Beautiful. Forgiving. Of yourself. Yes. Humble. Perfect. Absolutely. Complete. Authentic. Absolutely. One. Divine. Warm. Beautiful. So very often the tendency is a rejection in order to make something new. As if now free was to reject the society. And every generation has a way that they reject the society. Communism, reject materialism, and on and on and on. There's so many. So it's the idea, if I get naked, then I'll be free. If I don't work, then I'll be free. So how we can tell it is not true freedom, meaning it is not pure, it is conditional, is that it will always be if this, then that, which means it is in time and space. It is a future freedom, conditional to change, of changing something. When you realize I am unchanging, ever-present, pure and free, present. The presence is pure and free. Not an idealism, not a plan for freedom, not a conditional freedom, if this, then that. Yes, if everyone was to recognize us and see our beautiful inner light, that we're just perfect, of course it will be, you will yourself recognize it. But that's not the deal of the divine. The divine, she said, you recognize yourself, and then you will watch what comes to you. Yes, if I have physical freedom, I will feel at peace. Yes, if I have mental freedom, I will feel at peace. It really seems logical to a rational mind. It's complete falsehood. And how you can catch yourself doing it, if this, then that. What is it? It's the mind trapped in time and space. That's it. What is the antidote? Presence. I am presence. Both presence and present. What is the quality of present and presence? Pure and free. And whatever you want to add that it inspires you to shift the identification from I am only this, half of the story, to complete the whole story. I am this, wearing this, inhabiting this. Knowing its purpose is to be myself, not to be something I am not, or not to rid myself of something that is not. So liberation is knowing the whole picture. The being, which you can say like silence, stillness, formless, no name, no attributes, no quality really, like space, but not at all separate from the other side of the story, which is manifest, noise, movement, qualities, colors, but to know that you are all permeating. There are not two halves. So then you can think of it more. There is depth or source and its expression. And they are one and the same. Just as I said in the meditation, the earthen jug is none other than earth. We have another name for it. And it has different qualities. It has a different purpose. But it is not separate from earth. The drop of water has a dimension. Maybe has a purpose. Maybe it's to cleanse the lens of your glasses. But it is not separate from H2O. And you can do it with all the elements. Fire. The fire in that candle is not separate from the fire in this candle, lit by this candle. So there is one fire, one light, as Lee said. One light, many forms to represent that light. One self, one being, one pure, one that cannot be divided. And in the Vedic system it is called one without a second. One that cannot have an opposite. But that one is not divided from this beautiful mask, the beautiful expression, the beautiful language that we have, that is of comfortable sometimes, uncomfortable sometimes, pleasing sometimes, not pleasing sometimes, feeling appreciated, not feeling appreciated, feeling knotted, feeling free. Don't try and change yourself there. Include yourself, and everything will be lighter. You will wear your mask lighter. Because it's very easy, especially with spiritual, once one has really dug deep into this knowledge. Oh, I know this knowledge now. I'm going to retreat from the presentations. I'm going to retreat now from society. I'm going to now go to a cave, and then I'll be very spiritual. And there's a time for that. And as you do develop a more subtle understanding of yourself, you do want to give it more time, like the gardener, to till that soil and nourish and water that plant. Yes, definitely. But not in a separate way.